Hi everybody, this is Willy from Y Academy again, and many of us are attracted to the idea of running a remote online business because of the perks involved, right? Being our own boss, okay, freedom to work from the comforts of our own home, achieving the own time, own target dream, finally, right, without having a boss breathing down on our necks all the time. Yeah, but many of us didn't realize that we need a lot of consistent hard work to make things work, right? And stop this, okay? Oh, I can do it all right, and I'm a highly disciplined person, and I keep to my schedule all the time. No, okay, you know yourself very well that you can and do slack off at times when you realize that nobody is watching you. Okay, so there's nothing wrong with admitting that. So as human beings, all of us are not spared from the vices of human nature, like becoming lazier and increasingly less motivated with our work as days goes by. Especially when we work from home, many of us gradually lost the sense of accountability, okay, since there's no one to supervise us, right? So this is a common problem that many of us face when we continue our online business venture. So there's hope, right? Don't worry. And here are some tips that will help you have a more effective working remotely experience. Number one, okay, work the same hours. So as I said previously, right, part of the appeal of running a remote online business is that you can set your own schedule. And let's just admit this, okay? So it's difficult to keep being focused on your task when there's no one watching you, right? To counter this, it's best that we simulate the feeling of working together as a part of a team. So tell yourself that you have to reach a target by the end of your work schedule, else you cannot account to your team member, right? This is yourself, okay? This is a bit like playing tricks on your own brain, but hey, it's all about the good of running your business more effectively, right? So you can start off by arranging a schedule for yourself such that you're working the same hours as your remote partners, be it your suppliers, your prepper companies, or other people involved in your business. So consider the differences in the time zone. You shouldn't set a working a traditional 9 to 5 shift during their working time zone straight away. Just imagine this will mean that you have to change your entire lifestyle, like sleeping hours, okay, if you're living in Singapore and your partners are in US. So for a start, consider logging in just a few hours during your partner's working time to stimulate the feeling of being engaged and working actively together as a team. So this will definitely keep you more focused on the task without having to make big changes to your lifestyle. So tip number 2, set realistic goal and deadlines. Right, so just like working anywhere else, you have to be realistic about your productivity. So do not be too ambitious and set a goal too big or give yourself a too tight deadline that can't be accomplished. So understand that there will be distractions all around when you're working remotely, and you will need to factor in time and energy to fix these little bugs that surface during your working schedule. So for example, if your computer crashes, there won't be somebody from the IT department that will come to your rescue, right? So this means that you have to possess some kind of technical know-how of repairing a computer in the event of such unfortunate things happen. So in essence, right, as a solo worker, you have to be mentally prepared that you have to depend on yourself if anything occurs. Okay, so I highly suggest that you read more in general to prepare yourself for the unexpected. So in the case of when emergencies really happen, don't be too hard on yourself when you realize that you're unable to accomplish the goal for the day. So tip number 3, has an accountability partner, right? So if you have experience working in an office, you know that there's a great deal of accountability involved with just a simple task of plopping down at your desk each day. Right, your co-workers and supervisors are physically there to see how you show up to your work almost all the time. So yes, as a solo worker, right, okay, you don't have the watchful eyes of your team members to help keep you on track. So if you don't ask someone to hold you accountable for your actions, okay, you might stray from the path you want to take. So as such, we'll advise you to get someone who is always around you to be your supervisor. They can be your parents, spouses, or friends. So ask them to check in regularly with you about how's your work going. So you have to admit that we need that little stress factor to keep us on track at all times, right? So number 4, use various communication styles. Okay, so when working remotely, right, we suggest that you use different modes of communication for various purpose. Okay, so this will make your remote working experience more efficient and effective. So we list a few scenarios below. So for a more formal communication is via email. So when you are conveying important information and you want to keep a record of what is being communicated, I suggest that you stay conventional and draft emails for this purpose. So this is more professional and is clearer for both parties when they want to refer back to the fine terms of what is being corresponded. So the CC and BCC functions, right, will help a lot, especially if you wish to keep another person in the loop of such messages. So examples of this kind of this type of communications include sending of requests for quotation, RFQ, okay, for goods, legal contracts, confirmation of delivery, etc. So number B, okay, will be for more communal and real-time conversation, like virtual chat rooms. Okay, so virtual chat rooms and chat apps such as WhatsApp, WeChat, Facebook Messenger are extremely helpful for quick communication. So this allows both sides to know there's somebody responding to you in real time. So meanwhile, you can include more than just one person into the conversation and leave messages for all involved parties in the form of text, images and videos for future references. So do note that information on such virtual chat rooms may be lost easily. So it's best that you back up these conversations regularly. So examples of this type of communications include initial correspondence, exchanging contacts, and confirmation of quick details, etc. So for more personal and elaborate correspondence, right, FaceTime, okay, will be great. Right, FaceTime is great when you need to communicate with your ideas more elaborately to other parties. Okay, so it allows you to keep the other parties actively engaged in the conversation as you are literally seeing each other in real life, but through a screen. So meanwhile, you can inject personal vibes into the conversation, allowing both sides of the party to know each other better and hence establish stronger relationships. So examples of this type of communications include expansions of explanation of different concepts, video conferencing, etc. So number 5, keep your information organized, right? So working remotely to manage your e-commerce business basically means a lot of collaboration among all parties. Okay, sometimes you will need to revisit certain files to make changes and send them over to your working partners for approval again. So confusion may occur if you send them the wrong files, and just imagine all the precious time and effort wasted when both parties have finally reached an agreement on certain issues based on the documents being sent over, only to discover that you're not on the same page. Okay, so I can tell you that this is going to make you look downright unprofessional and turn off your suppliers, prepper companies, legal partners, etc. So hence, I will highly recommend that you keep all relevant keep all relevant information, okay, as organized as possible. And this may seem trivial, right? But it's an important step which can show your professionalism and determine whether others are willing to work with you again. So I suggest creating a file management system, okay, to keep information intact for best effects. So number 6, track your productivity, right? So most of you will probably be a one-person operation at the beginning stages of starting your e-commerce business. Okay, so you will feel overworked soon enough as you have to manage everything by yourself, right? And wonder if there's any meaning to this venture. And that's a dangerous sign because having self-doubt will likely lead to giving up eventually, right? So to combat these negative feelings, right, I suggest that you try measuring your productivity and know how much you're really accomplishing. You can do this by keeping track of the number of hours you work per day or review your work regularly. Keep yourself motivated and encourage yourself by giving little rewards to yourself when you have made an accomplishment. Last but not least, don't give up. Okay? And tip number 7, create a sense of family, right? Building your own e-commerce business is a meaningful journey, but if you do it solo all the time, you're going to feel lonely and isolated at some point in time. So after all, regardless of what kind of communication device that you use, you're just facing an emotionless computer screen when working, okay? Human beings are social creatures and we enjoy all the feelings of being accepted as part of the group, getting appreciated for our efforts and having the companionship of like-minded people. So this will keep us motivated and hence give us the courage, okay, to continue this journey, right? So to resolve this, I would suggest that you make effort to get to know the people that you work with, okay, be it your suppliers, contacts from the prepper companies or other parties involved in a business, okay, if you have the chance to do so. So check out their social media accounts, ask personal but professional questions, okay, and create a feeling of family, okay, with your co-workers. So it's easy to throw people under the bus if you don't know them that well, and this will make your e-commerce journey seem tough and disheartening, okay, as you lost the sense of human touch in your business. So try to stay connected to your co-workers, and your co-workers will reciprocate your efforts, and in time you'll find yourself building a meaningful relationship with them, making the whole e-commerce journey all the more fulfilling. So here are 7 tips. I hope to see you in the next video. Cheers.